The moment a body enters a space, it changes that space, and your presence transforms the space. Dancing in public spaces is a beautiful way to be present with your surrounding. By being present with the place, yourself, and others, you slowly shift the energy around you. Because you start paying attention to the environment by opening up all your senses to that place, you start engaging with the environment through your movement. And other people who pass by are surprised and awakened by their daydream, and they might see something new. Dancing in public spaces puts people at ease and creates a sense of community. I always love dancing in unexpected places. Before I went on this one-year journey, I meditated and reflected on the place of dance in our culture, which is mostly presented in theaters. And I had the urge to change that. I wanted to take dance back to the people, back to the streets, to make dance part of our daily lives and spaces. So in 2015, I traveled to 20 countries around the world to put dances in public spaces with the local communities. Every 2 weeks we were in another country, but nevertheless I didn't think of it as a tour. I thought of it as a one-year movement meditation with people from around the world to reflect and showcase on how similar we are in our differences. Around the world, the most amazing part was seeing people's faces light up when they saw the moving bodies in public spaces. I loved how people reacted and how they looked curious about the dancing bodies. For example, there were joyous parents, and some of the children who were watching were inspired, and they even started imitating the dances. And I remember one woman who started crying, seeing the dancers move in her path. She said she'll never forget this moment because it made her pay attention and made her see this place for the first time. These fleeting moments of human connection and interaction is what motivates me to create dances in public spaces. Another motivation why I do this project around the world was because I wanted to highlight our similarities of how we humans express together and create and move and dance and dream and love. And I also wanted to return to the essence of why I love dancing and to the essentials of dancing, which is the body moving in space and time, without putting it into a black box and without removing it from its natural environments. And nowadays, our natural environments are cities. And so we move in cities in a very straightforward way because cities are built very linearly. You have the streets that are lying next to each other or they cross each other, and you have the buildings that go up and down in a very vertical, linear pattern. But what would happen if we started moving through cities in a more playful, non-linear way? Also, creating with people through movement takes us back to our anima, opens up our senses, and connects us back to our intuition. Moving with other bodies reminds us to embrace our natural and inherited communication tools.
Dance for me, it's a language, and for me, the body is our first language. We don't, like when we are really small, we don't start talking directly. We are moving, trying to catch things, trying to understand, trying, and I think that it's international language.
Dance, because it is energy, it is a possibility to connect people, to create new ideas and images.
Often I really feel that I'm alive when I move, when I dance. It's somehow the feeling that things are making sense, but at the same time I can also sense clearly the surrounding, and somehow also I think it's the connection to myself and also to the other people. It's also somehow this being alive, it's quite a miracle.
Everything in my life is about movement, and dancing is a way to harmoniously create movement.
When I dance, because I'm in such a zen place after I dance, I think it's the time when I'm most creative. So I feel more open, my mind opens up, my heart opens up, and I always feel like you're giving. Even if you're dancing solo, I always feel like I'm giving this energy to the universe. And when you give, you receive, and I think I receive creativity through that.
It just made me realize there were interesting things and there were other possibilities for you to express yourselves.
I dance because it feels good. It's a multi-sensory experience for me. It engages my body in different ways, from the sounds to the sights to the feeling of being in the present, being in a place, and feeling other bodies alongside my own body.
It was important to me to share this movement exploration project, not just in one city, but in many cities around the world. and also for myself to take a year to connect to different communities, share movement explorations to show how we are, in essence, all connected.
You make a connection to your body when you dance. You can express with your body what are you feeling. With dancing, you are using your body so that you are transmitting senses, feelings, emotions. Sometimes you cannot communicate with words, it's difficult, but with the body, it's easier. And that liberates you, that makes you free.
I think it's a big and wide expression that implies many resources you have to communicate. So dance means a whole speech.
When people say dance is a universal language, they don't really mean the movement of dance, because the different forms of dance are very codified, and to me, they're not universal. What is universal about dance is the emotion and feeling behind the movement vocabulary. How it makes us feel is what connects us. I see dance as a form of communication that speaks to our universal understanding of humanity.
When I'm dancing, I don't know why, but I can dance and I can express, I can be a different person, I can express my feelings, I can express something I don't speak.
The core message of the interviewees is that when people dance, they can communicate on a much more complex and deeper level, and that they can express thoughts, feelings, emotions with so much more nuance and clarity than with words. I have been reflecting and wondering what it is that we are missing when we don't use the body in a more holistic way.
How I can dance and how people feel when we are dancing.
Yeah,
That is the meaning.
that is the meaning. I think when we move with each other, there's a different level of communication happening. An intuitive level of trust is building between people, and it brings us closer to each other. When we dance with each other, we experience this wholeness of being with another person, and it's like a new learned language.
It's my language. It's the way that I can express everything.
I move to process my thoughts. but I realized it was the way that I could process my thoughts and take a deep dive into the parts of me that were unknown. And exploring that unknown is what I've relied on dance to be. The body is really the shortest distance between two people. It makes this immediate connection across the distance between where I end and you begin. That immeasurable distance can instantly be made as close as this. I dance because I have to.
It's my life, you know, like I don't see myself without my dancing. It's something I need in order to survive. It gave me all the tools to get to know myself, to discover my strength.
When moving with other people, we have to deeply connect to who we are, and with that depth, we can communicate to others through this new discovered moving self.
I used to have difficulties in how I express myself, mostly physically. But you know, when you're talking to somebody body to body, I find it more touching and more realistic.
I think when I see people dancing, it's like they are becoming more like gods. Like they are fulfilling themselves and feeling really what they are and recognizing themselves as a fully person.
It's the way that I can express the things that I cannot otherwise express with words or writing or with music, you know. I do poetry sometimes, but for me, dance is the ultimate medium of communication.
Dance is a beautiful way to create with other people and to be present in space with other people. It's also a magical way to understand myself and life. Life in totality is incomprehensible. Dance provides a lens to view life, and it creates a space for me to move and to be moved. by something so incomprehensible.